So it's Saturday night, and I'm just enjoying a quiet night home, reading a new book. I finished one yesterday, and I started a new one today. Um, and I just wanted to tell you, I'm reading the book called The Gap and the Gain. And I'd been told to read it once before, and I'd even been shared some details about it. But my boss a couple weeks ago, he and I were talking about, I'm pretty sure it was about my weight loss. I had found out I was diabetic in September of 2022. The nutritionist gave me some guidelines. They put me on some metformin. And in about a year and a half, I'd lost 40 pounds. Well, since that time, April of 24, I haven't lost anything. I've stayed exactly the same, and I've been a little frustrated. And he suggested I read this book, The Gap and the Gain. So as I'm reading this today, it says, you got to live in the gain, not in the gap. And so what does that mean? Well, we start somewhere, and we have an idea of where we want to finish. Now, I'd like to lose 70 pounds total. And when we don't make it that far, then we live in what we call the gap, as we're frustrated with just not making it to where we wanted to go. What we need to do is live in the gain. And what that basically means is we have a start, we have an ideal finish, and we need to celebrate what we did accomplish. So the point of this is I need to celebrate the fact that I lost 40 pounds. I also need to celebrate that I've maintained it for, since April of 2024. So I've maintained it for almost a year, 8 months, 9 months. And then I read this in here. Happiness is not something you pursue. Happiness is not something in the future. Happiness is where you start, not where you finish. And I thought about that. Happiness is the fact that when I found out I was diabetic, I started. And I can be happy that I made that change. And I remember saying I was thankful because it got my head in the game and got me straight. And today, I'm realizing I've not been living in that. I've not been living in the gain. I've been living in the gap. So that's my message for you. What are you needing to do, or should I say, what have you been working on, and you should be celebrating the success you've had? Live in the gain, not in the gap.